Go ahead and sign in.
You need a pen?
Mom says I'm so contagious.
Skip the chaos and the germs. Log in to waitfromhome.com. See wait times at over 15 UMC clinics. And when it's time to come in, we'll call or text. Skip the wait. Waitfromhome.com.
Welcome to the Reckham 247 Recruiting Show. I'm Krista Pirtle alongside Daniel Pauling. And when this guy's on camera, you know we're going to be talking about some Texas Tech recruiting. Last week he broke down what Tech is looking at offensively. What's going on defensively, Daniel? And let's start with the defensive line.
Definitely. I know a lot of fans are like, hey, why are you talking about offense all the time? Well, hey, let's give the defensive guys some love. Defensive line, 8 commitments right now. That's a lot of bodies that Texas Tech has on its defensive line coming in the class of 2016. You might ask Mike Smith, and he'll say something to the effect of, well, you can never have too many of these guys. And you know what? Texas Tech is right. They need to be adding a lot of defensive linemen. They graduate 6 guys this year, including Rico Levy, Brandon Jackson, Pete Robertson, 3 big names that are right there on that defensive line, so they're going to need guys to step up quickly. Quite a decent amount of guys split between defensive end and defensive tackle. I will highlight one at each position. First, at defensive end, Houston Miller, strong kid. He'll power clean about 325. He set the Keller school record at that. He'll bench a lot. He'll squat a lot. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on as an outside guy. Inside, maybe we'll take a look at Mike Thomas, see what he can do. Maybe a Joe Wallace at Dallas Skyline. But Mike Thomas is a JUCO guy from Butler Community College over in Kansas. Let's see how quickly he can come in and maybe contribute immediately because he's got those 2 years of experience.
All right, going from defensive line to linebacker, what are the Red Raiders looking at?
Right now, there's 3 guys committed to Texas Tech: Braden Stringer, Jonathan Piccone, and Jordan Brooks. I think they're done at the linebacker position. I also think they're probably done at defensive line. Maybe they add 1 guy there if it's a special guy. Linebacker, they're probably done unless they're trying to add 3-star Kevin Moore out of Louisiana. He had a great official visit last weekend with his friend Piccone. McKinley Mitchell is kind of an interesting name. You know, his older brother, Mike Mitchell. McKinley's offered by Texas Tech. I don't know if he's, haven't got a chance to, kind of catch up with him, see what he's doing, see what his interest is. Noah Spears is a huge Texas Tech fan, grew up in Lubbock before moving over to Irving. I don't know if Texas Tech has room for him. So those are 3 guys who Tech might be interested in, but, I don't know if they're going to have room for him.
And you mentioned they don't have room for maybe linebackers, defensive line, they might be done. How's the secondary looking? Yeah,
secondary, only 2 names right now because they have a young secondary. They have a lot of young cornerbacks, with the Tevin Madison, Nigel Bethel. Both those guys are sophomores. They only graduate 1 guy, I believe, who's contributing consistently off that defensive secondary. The 2 commits they have right now, DeMarcus Fields and Neiman Armstrong. Fields is getting rave reviews from his coaches just as being an athletic freak. Texas Tech is the only Power 5 program to have offered him. Joining Texas State is his only other offer. Neiman Armstrong, if you're at DeSoto and you're 6 foot and you're cornerback, you're probably going to have a lot of looks just because of that height and because of who you play for. One guy to keep an eye on is DeMarcus Acey. He's out at Dallas Wilmer Hutchins, bigger guy, about nice 3-star. He's got a final 3 of Texas Tech, Texas, and Oklahoma. Now, if you look at those 3 schools, you're like, which one doesn't belong? You might say Texas Tech just because those other 2 programs have such a great history, a lot of tradition, and great programs. But yeah, I do think he goes to Texas, but he's developed a great relationship with Tech cornerbacks coach Kevin Curtis. So we'll see how that plays out. I think he'll make his decision at least before the end of the season. He's got his official visits coming up. So that's a name to keep an eye on. Both those guys, Fields and Armstrong, as well as AC, they're both cornerbacks. I asked Coach Curtis, hey, are you guys only recruiting cornerbacks? Or are you guys not caring about safeties, not looking at safeties? He said, look, we just want defensive backs who are long and lanky. 6 foot, long arms, long legs. So I don't think it's a situation where they're saying, hey, we're only looking at cornerbacks and we can adjust them to safety. They're just looking for guys who are long, lanky, 6 foot, 6'2", and saying, look, come into our system, we'll make it work.
Well, I think you've covered the defense, and that might have been the fastest breakdown you've ever done, Daniel.
Just about. And unfortunately, yes, my last breakdown, I'll be heading to Oxford, Mississippi to be covering Ole Miss for the newspaper in Jackson, the Jackson Clarion Ledger. So feel free to follow along if you like Ole Miss. I don't know if many fans do, just because Texas Tech unfortunately lost the last one against Ole Miss. But you know, please follow along if you like. And you know, it's been a pleasure covering recruiting for y'all. And thanks for watching, thanks for reading, thanks for listening.
Well, that'll wrap it up here, unless you have any more last words to impart on anybody.
No, nothing right now.
That's good. No
Nothing
more
right
words
now.
of wisdom from Daniel. You have to follow him when he goes off to Ole Miss. That's all for now. I'm Krista Pirtle. That's Daniel Pauling. We'll see you next time.